Let's talk about it, man. Let's talk about the hood. Let's talk about them gangs. Come on. That's in them penitentiaries for twisting their fingers. Let's talk about the hoovers, the Pyrus from looters. Let's talk about having some truces with trades and dudes. Come on. Let's talk about the racist shit and crooked politics. The government don't care about niggas, they love immigrants. Let's talk about my past. Let's talk about my pain. It's so hard to maintain wearing red flame. Let's talk about my thug. You know we had them drugs. Let's talk about that ghetto girl that betrayed my love. Let's talk about Farrakhan. Let's talk about the Bible. Let's talk about the Quran. Let's talk about Elijah. Let's talk about my daddy, my candy-coated caddy. Let's talk about my mama happy that she chose to have it. Let's talk about the kids. Let's talk about the blues. Tune into the Let's Talk Shop with that old school.
Hey, yo, what's up, family? I'm back on here again. Look, check this out. I just got off the phone with my cousin, Frederico Lobe. He's in the Eastern Reception Diagnostic and Correctional Facility in Bon Terre, Missouri. He told me that, now we speak frequently. We speak frequently. We're talking about once or twice, sometimes 3 times a week. And he explained how, what is it? It's the prison system, but it's called, I believe it's Securus. What they do with the inmates, you can receive phone calls, and you also can get visits, meaning you can get a face visit if you got a tablet or a computer. They charge the inmates like $2 a minute or something like that for their phone and for these, face visits on the computer, such as how I'm interacting right now. So I told him, I said, you know what, I'm gonna get that, man, so we could chop it up. That way you get to see the family and you get to see my wife, you get to see the baby cousins, you get to see all that. He said, nah, man, you can't do that. The facility, they'll shut it off. If you don't, whoever else is like, if I have my wife and my kids, they can't be in here and all say, hey, they'll shut it off. So if I want my kids, I got 4 kids and my wife. So if I want my cousin to interact and see them, I have to create a separate account and pay for everybody when everybody is in this one household. Now, I know some of you might say, well, they're in prison. They deserve that. It's prison. It shouldn't be easy. You shouldn't be able to have fun. You shouldn't be able to get those basic necessities, right? But what about the guys that are in there unjustly? What about the guys that are falsely in prison? Everybody is not a murderer or a pedophile or a child killer. Everybody's not in there for something heinous. So to deprive these people, he told me that, man, you could do it, but they got to be in the background and they can all say, hey, but the moment you get there, they'll give you a warning. And if they don't get out there, cut it off. They cut your time off. So imagine a man that has a wife and children and grandchildren. He can't even see them. For those that can't afford to pay these fees to get access to their loved ones behind these walls, they just left. They got to see one person at a time. And here's the thing, not one person at a time. It has to be the person that signed up for it. So if I sign up, I'm the only person that he can see. He can't see nobody else. Even if his mama was still living, his mama wouldn't be able to get in on the picture and see. Now that is, I don't want to say it's inhumane, but it's definitely unjust. Especially when you're behind bars for a crime that you did not commit. And that's the same problem with my family member, my cousin. He's behind bars for a crime that he didn't commit. And I know you say, man, everybody say that. Everybody say that. This man has paperwork. DNA evidence have excluded him from this crime, but they still have him incarcerated. So He only has access to certain individuals. Now, this isn't just in the state of Missouri. This is all over. And no one has a voice for the prisoners because everybody's going to look at them like they're criminals. So just because they are, yeah, they've been convicted of a crime. Now, I'm not speaking for the ones that did crimes that are unforgivable or just went on a murderous rampage. They need to be punished and don't have any rights. But what about the people that were protecting themselves and the law just wasn't on their side that day? For whatever case it is, whether it be the color of their skin, they picked the wrong jury, and they just happen to find themselves in these unforsaken circumstances. I can only imagine if I was something happened and I just so happened to find myself behind bars, which I never foresee that. But if I was and I called home to speak to my wife and I wanted to see my four children, you telling me when my four children get into this camera view, they gonna shut it off? They gonna shut it off. And then they wonder why when these inmates get into prison, they are so violent. They become more violent. I witnessed it myself. I saw how inmates are treated behind the walls. So, a lot of you have family members in prison, and they may have, stole a car or robbed a bank or, did some blue collar crime. You telling me because they smoked weed, they got caught in the car with a few pounds of weed that they can't see their family? What part of the game is that? That has to be unconstitutional. Now, I know in the Constitution it says that, you know, slavery is abolished, except if a person is imprisoned. And we all know slaves didn't have no rights. So, is this constitutional? Do y'all think this is right? Should a man or woman, I don't know how they do in women prisons. I don't know. But in prison, if a man, he didn't murder anyone, he didn't take the innocence of a child, he didn't do anything heinous, should he be deprived of seeing his family? If he's able to get viewed visits. I don't know what they call them. You could get on a tablet and you could see your loved one instead of just being on the phone. My cousin has been incarcerated for 38 years. 38 years. The last time I saw him, I was a little boy, and he was a young man. He was a young man. Now I'm going to do a in-depth podcast of his case, and I'm going to show how the judicial system fails, especially its black citizens. And not only black citizens, it's white ones too that are behind them walls unjustly. So comment, man. What do y'all think about this here? Is it even if you feel, hey, they in prison, fuck them, fuck them. But that could be you. All it takes is for somebody to come in your house, try to harm your family. And they may not even have to harm your family, but if you're a man like me, if you come in my house, I have women in my house. I don't know what you come in here to do. If I catch you, if I catch you, I got some bullets for your ass. I got something for you. You're not gonna make it out. And just by protecting your family, the law is set up to where you would be in prison. And this man could have been coming in your home to rape whoever was in there, including you. But if you take him out, You better have some money. You better have some money. So, do y'all think this is okay? Is it okay? You know, uh, it's very it's a environment to keep inmates violent. When you take everything away, okay, you're in prison. You're in prison. All right. But you give them this here and say, hey, you only speak to one person. You got kids, man. Come on. That's gonna piss you off. You're gonna be good to see. Okay, some people say, hey, be thankful that they letting you talk to that person. But man, I got 2 kids. I got 4 kids, man. I want to see all of them. I haven't seen them in 9 years, 10 years. Some people longer, right? Speaking for the ones who didn't do violent crimes, and when I say violent crimes, I mean violent crimes that were uncalled for. Because you could do something violent that was called for. But if you rob a old lady and you take her purse and she give it to you and you kill her, mhm. People like that, you don't need shit. You don't need nothing. You kill a person when you didn't have to. You don't need no. You don't have nothing. You shouldn't get that, right? Because you took that away from the person that you murdered. So all I'm saying, man, is how do you justify that? How do you justify that? And what do y'all think? What do y'all think? Is it cool? Because I know some people gonna hop in the comments because it's always somebody that's gonna think sideways and say, "Well, they in jail. That's what it is. It's prison. It's not supposed to be fun." You're right. You're right. I agree with that. I agree with that. But the same people who wrote those laws will tell you just because somebody came in your house don't mean you had to kill them. You don't know what they was coming in your house to do. Don't know what they were doing. Comment, man. Let me know. Am I tripping? Or are these prison systems or the prison system or the judicial system itself? Is it unjust? I think so. Tell me what y'all think. Peace out.